Whoa! It's the Illusion reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth, setting sail in Terra Cruiser 3. Me and the Owlman are going down to Venice, do a little skateboarding today. Hopefully we'll get a couple cool clips. There's been this awesome kid I've been watching since he's been a Grom, and now he's coming into his own, man. Guy shreds. Anyway, so I had this accumulation of thoughts, right? So I was listening to Neil Young's Cortez the Killer, right? Beautiful song talking about Cortez, and there's that line in the song where he's like, you know, all the women were beautiful, all the men were tall and strong or something, right? And I also was tying in this this part I read I'm reading the book about when the Pilgrims landed and started the Plymouth colony, dude, the Mayflower, right? And they were, you know, they got passages where these original accounts of the original inhabitants were talking about how beautiful these people were, how tall and strong and healthy and just robust they were, but there was very specific, the word beautiful was used. I don't know if they said they were tall, but they said they were beautiful, right? And what they were wearing was beautiful, and they were beautiful looking human beings they encountered. And then I was thinking about the maps of the West, right? So, you know, I talk about, I thumb through Rand McNally when I'm killing time and look at maps. And, you know, I've been tripping that. So my grandfather came over from Czechoslovakia, right? He was a Bohemian. He came over from Czechoslovakia, and, you know, he put himself through college as an engineer and became vice president of U.S. Steel, like invented some stuff for trains and was part of this thing. And so I think about, like, you know, westward expansion and manifest destiny. So, you know, they came and they were like the expanding West. I'm not getting into whether it was right or wrong, but there was this thing where they were like, we're going west and we're gonna make this country, we're gonna make a country. And I think it freaks me out that these beautiful people were basically genocided. The original people were genocided, and their culture was almost wiped out, and a lot of them were wiped out, and their language is lost. All in the name of crappy strip malls and trailers and subdivisions and trash and just low-class people. Like the American, there's a certain element of America that is just ignorant and dumb and filthy and disgusting. I can say that. And so I work in treatment, right? I work at high-end sober livings and rehabs, right? That's what I do. And you see all these super wealthy people spun out on drugs with zero ambition, zero clues about life. And I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking what a shame it is that we lost these beautiful people, and this is the best we're doing with it. Like, there's a part of me that, right, with my son, raising my son, knowing who my grandfather was, and you know, my grandparents were, even on my dad's side, my grandfather came over after World War II to Canada. They came as people that were like about fostering intelligence, about building a better world for the future, right? So I look at my son and I know looking at the hillsides and the maps that we've just mowed down the American continent, man, that was, 200 years ago was just vast open wilderness inhabited by, in an idealized sense, beautiful people. They had an intact culture. They were in touch with the land. Yeah, they warred and killed each other. They're humans. But so I think about this thing of like, our duty as parents is to make the past count for something into the future, right? Like not to be just trailer trash. And I think like that's what, when you kind of go roam around like the west of America and anywhere in America, there's an element of like trailer trashness. And I'm not getting into like the ghettos in the city, because cities by themselves are just abominations. Like they've always have been. I don't think they're, I've like Portland, Oregon, bitchin' beautiful little city, still always will have an element of filthiness to it just because it's a city and a lot of people living together. But you can definitely make some modern cities that are compact, organized, and basically don't destroy their localized environment. I mean, Portland's a pretty good, like, close, not perfect, don't get me wrong. So I'm thinking about this as I'm listening to Cortez the Killer, and I'm thinking about, when these pilgrims and stuff were coming over and colonizing North America. And I'm like, so that people could be junkies and alcoholics and deadbeat parents and just spinning out and smashing cars into other cars and drinking Mountain Dew and being like, blah, blah, watching TV. Like, to me, like, there's something about our culture right now that is just basically pissing on the memory of the indigenous people. I was talking with my friend the other night about like how ironic it is everybody's all about like, this privilege thing and racism in America, and yet no one wants to touch the genocide of America. Because they don't, here, I'm going to get some thumbs down on this. You can talk all you want about how the blacks are repressed in our country, and I'll say it right, I agree. But they're alive. Where are the original people from before? Like, the slaves may have gotten a raw deal, but they were allowed to genetically make it into this modern time to talk about their oppression, to talk about the inequality of a system that marginalizes people. It's not a white or black issue. It's this, we're all being controlled by the slave masters, the international industrial military corporation with their pharmaceutical corporations and their war campaigns and their destruction of the family campaigns. And I'm drifting off what I'm really wanted to get to about is just this thing that I'm so aware of, especially bringing a child into this planet, of being like, this thing occurred 100, 200 years ago almost now. And there's no unringing that bell. There's no take backs. But we could at least, you can't say honor their memory because we genocided people. But there's this thing where like, dude, we could do so much better. Nikola Tesla, man. Nikola Tesla from Serbia, I think he was Serbian, coming over here and talking about free energy and freeing people to make better things. Like, you look at what they were doing up in the Pacific Northwest in the early part of the last century with the Bonneville Power Administration, right? Like, I'm not one for damming rivers, but their thought was to dam the rivers to get electricity, to make everything electric and automated, to free man from the bondage of labor, so that man could invent better things to free man, to better the world. Like, we're supposed to be living in pretty much a seamless modern world at this point. And to this weird thing of how we're still like bombing each other and still genociding people, like, kind of blows me away. And that people care about like football teams and baseball teams and stuff, when like that's not, I don't even know how you put it, but like, the westward expansion and manifest destiny and genocide of an entire indigenous culture so that people could sit in stadiums and watch sports and watch television and drink Mountain Dew and rip bong hits and pound beers and be stupid, kind of blows me away. It really is just the final F you to the original people, man. I don't know. I have like, it's hard to articulate because it's very clear in my mind what I want to say. But I guess what I'm really trying to say is like, I'm raising my child on the concept of him being connected to the story that is our past and our history, to make the future free of the mistakes of the past. And here we are at this crossroads where we're going backwards, man. Like, why are we going backwards? It's 2017, and I look at 2017 versus 2007, and we've gone backwards. And I look at it versus 1997, and we've definitely gone backwards, dude. And it's not because of anyone's privilege, it's because of apathy and everyone sticking their face in electronic devices and believing that they don't have the ability to think for themselves. And it comes down to this thing of like, I'm not a subject, I'm not a citizen of any country, man. I take my power from God, just like the original people. Like, you read about the original people, they all understood their relationship with God. All of them, man, they were all about it. And here we are in this like heathen society that's based upon decadence and debauchery, dude. And I'm one of those. Let the good times roll, man. I just can't believe that that's become our mission, is to sit around and wedge hot dogs and drink Mountain Dew and pound Miller Genuine Draft and think about taking out a loan to put another jet ski in the garage while watching your favorite sports team debating their stats. Like, what? What? That's not taking advantage of where we are in time, space. It's so radical, man. It's so radical to be like awake and know that you're fully living in just idiocracy, man. That it's super frustrating that people are just settling for this like third class reality. I called And America's like one of the shining stars on this nation. But it's a third-class reality, man. It is not what these people had in mind, these thinkers had in mind in the 1800s, man. You read, yeah, they had some pretty lame concepts about how to go about it, but you read what they were really thinking about the future looking like, and it wasn't a third-class reality, man. You read about what Galveston was trying to be before the hurricane wiped it out, man. They were all about being a first-class reality, man. I don't know, dude. I'd trip out, dude. I'd trip out about our whole history and just how it's just stashed in this ignorance of pop culture, man. Anyway, it's The Illusion. I'm just thinking about some stuff today. Don't forget to subscribe, link to my Etsy account, do the deal, support the channel. Hey, have a beautiful day out there, man. Just because we got heavy thoughts doesn't mean we can be light in our attitude, right? Peace.